Hari Om. In this video, I explain about the white people, not Caucasian people. See, there is a difference. These are two human races, two human species. Caucasian people are called red people. They originated in central North Russia. They were also known as Aryans, Vikings, Caucasians, Scythians, even Greeks were all red people. But in this video, I would like to explain more about white people and their influence nowadays and since past 50,000 years or so, or probably more. So in my previous videos about 4 human species, the details version, I've explained about 4 human races. The other two are black people in Africa and yellow people in China. So these are the 4 human races. White people, as we can see in this map, this is Europe. You see the region UK, France. That region is where white people initially started, originated. Whether it was a alien species or it from a ape, from a separate ape became whites. That I'm not sure, I'm not clear. Very likely it's alien DNA, just as the other 4 human races. So white people, as they populated here, they spread throughout Europe and they started going into North Africa through this route right here, south of Spain. But there were black people already there. So nowadays we see mixture of black and white in that region. How to know if a person is a white DNA, even when it is mixed? See, white DNA has distinctions. Their faces, their skull is oblong, long, or triangular shape, meaning their head seems bigger than their chin and jaw. Their chin and jaw usually narrow and long, and their nose is also thin at the base and long. We often see thin and long lips and thin and long hands and feet. The whole body is usually thin and long. Some of them become very, very thin, very skinny. So they spread into southern Europe, Italy, those areas. We can see, I don't know these countries' names, that region right there. And from there they came into Turkey, they spread into that region, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Israel. They spread into this area. So the people who were called Jews, Judaism is their religion. Well, the secret that nobody knows about Judaism, I will explain here too. Well, to begin with, to simply say, Judaism never belonged to white people. The religion, the core religion of Judaism, came from black people of North Africa. Because white people were living close by and they collided, and since white people do not like black people, they pretty much hate them because of their skin color mostly and their low intelligence and their habits, their dirty living, clothless living, etc., which white people are totally opposite. In comparison to the red people, white people love red people because red people are opposite of black people. Red people are more modern, good looking, strong, and they're very intelligent. They build their cities and their villages. They're very, how do you say, very modern, civilized. So white people love them. That's why white people have spread all over the world where red people are living or were living for past thousands of years, including Russia, all over Russia, Central Asia, India. So you find this is the flow of white people came from Europe into Middle East, into India, and they spread into North Africa, mixing with the blacks. So this is the nowadays more than 75% population of India, I would say, or at least 50% population of India has white DNA. Pakistan, Afghanistan, this is all, they're all spread over there, and they still have hatred toward the black people, the native black people, who are the black people of India. They came from Africa, as we can see the map, and they spread into Southeast Asia, Australia, and came into America more than 50,000 years ago. But they came into India more than 100,000 years ago, probably a lot longer, probably half a million years ago, or maybe they were in India, uh, well, for a long time. So the hatred of white people toward black people is very common in India. The racism in India is high degree. Even now, the mixed people who have white DNA do not like blacks. They make fun of them. They do not allow them in their vicinity, in their areas, in their neighborhoods. They just shoo them away, kick them away. Whereas red people are very calm people. They allow everybody in their vicinity. They do not say nothing, and that is the reason white people always took advantage of the red people. They always spread into their neighbors peacefully, and they love them, they respect them. You will always find red people surrounded by white people. And white people, once they surround red people, they do not allow black people to be around them. They kick them away. They shoo them away. Go away. They don't allow them job, or they give them low level jobs. They do not want them to have money. They have hatred toward blacks. Um, Whatever the reason, skin color, penis envy, white women love to go to a black man because of their large penis sizes. And this is global trend, not only in Africa, but this was also in India, and nowadays this is common in Americas. So this is the story of white people. All the religion, Judaism, since the old religion of Judaism belonged to black people, just as the old version of Islam also belonged to black people. Black people started Islamic tradition more than 5,000 years ago, before the arrival of Muhammad. Similarly, Judaism is older than Jesus Christ. So that is the reason Judaism only developed in North Egyptian areas, Israel, Middle East area, and not in Europe. There is no religion in Europe. In fact, the Stonehenge faith system, was started by the red people. So basically, white people adopted and took over others' things, which they always do. They have nothing of their own. Even the kingdom systems of Europe, kingdom of Spain, France, UK, Germany, the Greeks, Italians, Romans, and the Ottoman empires were all started, and kept for very long by the red people. Slowly, white mixed with them, usually the white females with red males, and the mixture took, and slowly, red and the white people took over. Same thing happened with Christianity or the Judaism. Same thing happened here also. And same thing happened with Islam. However, the story of Islam, everybody knows. Abraham, he had white wife who didn't have a child, so he used to have sex with his black maid. His wife's maid was black woman, and they're one thing I've noticed about white people, they're highly perverts sexually. And so he kept using this black woman, but he didn't marry her. When one time she got pregnant and she gave birth to a son, the son, who was half white, half black, the people of their their uh, what a village or city wherever they're living taunted the black woman. They abused her mentally and physically, and she was kicked out of that town, and she came to Egypt, where she started, where she had the revenge. She wanted revenge, so she started to marry the black man of Egyptian region, and she married many black men, not just one, and she gave birth to many kids, many children, and they all started this revenge culture. So it started, the revenge culture basically started long time before Jesus came or Muhammad came. But slowly they used to uh, attack the whites. So the wars in this region are very old. The Egyptian pyramids, that started with those people. It's very old culture. So recently, 1400 years ago, when Muhammad came, he was a mixed DNA. He was a mix of black, um, some white, a lot of red DNA. I have seen some of his older paintings that resemble him. And if you see, there is his head hair is still kept in somewhere in Saudi Arabia or something. I've seen those hair how it look like. They didn't have the too much curliness which black people have, but they were kind of straight hair. Some curl in them, but mostly straight. And they were dark hair, dark dark brown or dark black. They were, so that suggests that this man was a mixed DNA, and most of his pictures or his old paintings speak a lot about him. So he was a mixed DNA of black, white, and red DNA. More likely, um, more likely black and red DNA. So he was a good man. He was less anti-white. He was more humanitarian. But people around him were anti-white, and most of them were mixed white also. So you see, the whites pretty much hate whites only because of some mix of black. So this enmity has been going on in Middle East for thousands of years. When Muhammad came, they used him as a religious leader and created Islam, and the hate continues. But nowadays in Middle East throughout, white people gain control over Islam also, just like they gained control over Judaism and made their own. Similarly, they gained control over Islam and made it their own. So nowadays, Islam is spread out uh, throughout Middle East, and mostly among white Middle Eastern, white black mix Middle Eastern, and which came also into India. And the story of India Hinduism is very similar. The Hinduism, ancient Hinduism, belonged to the native people of India, who were all over India, Pakistan, that region. When red people from central Russia came, North India, entered India, they started their Vedic religion, their Sanskrit language, and they made it more modern, more civilized Hinduism. Their god was Vishnu, and black people's god was used to be Shiva, as described in, he was a black man. But nowadays, if you look at all the pictures of Shiva, you will find them looking like a white man, and his wives also made to look like white woman. This is all brainwashing. White people are very good at brainwashing. They want everything theirs, like they say it's ours. We started it, it belongs to us. So they pretty much steal everything. This is what happened in India also. When red people, black people had mixed all over India, when white people came later on from the same route or from Afghanistan into India, North India, they spread everywhere where red people or mixture of red and white, red and black were there. And they kicked out or kept away the people who were more black, who had more black DNA. They kept them away or kept them at lower levels, the lower caste. Even nowadays, if you go to lower castes, scheduled castes, untouchables are mostly people of black DNA. You see this. So they took over Hinduism as well and divided Hinduism into many other faiths and gods, and it spread all over India. So, as we can see, it was not theirs, but they took over control. So this is the story of white people, and nowadays they're all over world. You can see. I would say out of 8 billion people, 5 to 6 billion are white people, of and either pure white or white mix. Well, pure whites are very few nowadays because mostly in Europe are mixed with red DNA. North Africa, Middle East are mixed with black DNA. In India, are mixed with black red DNA. And in eastern part of Asia, nowadays, recently, since the British Empire 500 years or so, in Japan you go, South Korea, Philippines, and Hong Kong, you will find a lot of red and white and yellow mixture. And you can see that those people have longer nose, they're growing taller, and they're skinny. They have long face, oblong face. So long face and thin long nose is only found in black DNA, not in red DNA. Red DNA people are wide faces, squarish faces, and thicker, bulkier body, and red hair or light blonde hair, which is common in red DNA. So this is the summary and story of this planet that is not found in books. You will not find this knowledge in modern books, modern schools, even though I've been trying to teach this to the world for past more than 10 years. Nobody has shown great interest in this, especially white people who came to me, talked about this. They only got this information and they knew I was talking truth, but after that they backed off. They just disappeared. They never talked. They basically nobody, red people also are not coming forward to get their own identity, to prove to the world we are a separate human race. And yellow people aren't coming forward, black people are not coming forward to make this global, global knowledge. I think everybody should know where you're born, where you came from. And see, the thing is, this knowledge, I'm not teaching this knowledge for hate. I'm teaching this knowledge so you can learn about this planet. Because this planet is just a very small planet. The universe is huge. It's very big. There are so many human species, human races in the universe. Thousands and thousands different type of humans are out there, and maybe we cannot reach them through the body, through the science and stuff, but we can reach them through spiritual abilities. When we, spirituality is very, very important, and that is probably the reason that humans on earth came, through spiritual means, through teleportation by high spiritual entities or divine entities. So this is the story of this planet. And what else to tell you? Nowadays there's a lot of activity going on in the central region. Like in this region, there's a lot of activity going on from India to Middle East, Europe, North Africa. There's more activity going on here, more hatred, more competition, more wars. But if we go further away from this area, which is concentration of mixtures, the central area, if you go further away, we don't find wars, hatred. We find people living peacefully because they're more uh, of one DNA. If you go further north of Russia or deep into Russia, you'll find more red people. If you go into China, further deep into China, we will find more yellow people. Further deep down south into Africa, but South Africa, white people have taken over there. But mostly Central Africa, more yellow, black people are there, and they're peaceful. There is no wars among small wars, well, except small wars among themselves. But other than that, it's very peaceful. And similarly, there are some regions in Europe where they're concentrated white DNA, more white DNA, and those people are also living peacefully among their own. So this is one thing, and right now the mixture of the world is leading toward world war, which is which to me is not a right solution. I think what world should do is contain their population, come to one child policy for next 100 or 200 years, so the people who are, you know people will get older and die naturally rather than being killed in wars and bombs and nuclear bombs and stuff like that. So this is the wiser way to make this planet better. Also, white people need to contain themselves. They're too much mixing with the red people. They're only because of selfish interests, benefits, and they go all over the world. They want white DNA to be all over the planet, and they want to eliminate black people. They want to eliminate yellow people. They have pretty much eliminated the red people. I think majority of red people nowadays are mixed. However, there are strong red DNA people I've seen. I have been living in USA for 30 years, and even here in USA I've seen red people and strong white people as well. But but last thing I would say, there is no solution. I mean, it is a quick solution to depopulate the planet of humanity by wars, like nuclear wars. But this is not a peaceful solution. Peaceful solution is to live peacefully with each other, depopulate by one child policy, because I think one child policy can work right now because the whole world is connected nowadays through technology, and we know each other. We communicate with each other. We travel all over the world. So with this knowledge of four human races, I think world can save itself and live peacefully, for have one child policy for next 100 200 years until the population comes down to, let's say, 500 million all over the world. Less population, more resources, more fresh air, more organic food, more animals, more forests. So everything will be better for this small planet. And that's my message to the world. If it reaches, make my videos popular. I don't know how to do it. Maybe some of you guys who are very good at making videos, making things popular, maybe you guys can do it. So if you can do it, do it. This knowledge should go touch the world. That's all I want to say in this video. Please watch my other videos for deeper knowledge, or visit my website. Support me buying the book to raise give me some money because I'm very poor to tell you the truth. But I'm not very much into money. I don't want to become very rich. I'm simply want to live a simple life and just leave the planet and go, because the universe is huge. There are many opportunities in this universe. I don't want to get stuck or remain stuck on this planet. I hope this message also will enlighten a lot other humans and continue this spiritual journey. Hari Om Tat Sat.